Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm super excited to share with all of you my first impressions of Lashify, which is an at-home false eyelash extension alternative. So if you're interested in learning more about Lashify and watching my first attempt at applying them, then just stick around. So I literally just got my Lashify box in the mail, so this is truly a first impression. I wanted to share with all of you my unboxing. So it comes in this beautiful black box with this tissue paper that says Lashify and a wax seal here that also says Lashify. So let me just open this. Ooh, very nice packaging on the inside. We have these Lashify stickers. And then I really went ham with buying a lot of their products. So we have here the control kit, which has most of the items, which I'll run through. And then I bought some additional products as well. So this is their product called Release, which is for really easily removing the lashes. This is their pre-cleanse. And this is their Melt Away, which is a biphase cleanser. So let's take out this control kit. So this is the control kit, which is basically the starter kit with all the items you absolutely need to start with Lashify. It has a magnetic enclosure like this. And then let's see, I guess this is probably some information. We have a lid space finder. So I guess if you want to measure your eyes and see which size lashes would be best for you, this looks like it'll be handy. QR code for learning more about the control kit. We have these little guys over here, and then inside we have the nice control kit. It's embedded in this velveteen pouch. And so I got the black control kit, which is their original color story. And then let's open this up. Here is the control kit itself. So let me just press this in. So here is a close-up of the control kit. You have a really nice large mirror over here. So what you'll get in the control kit is 2 sets of Gossamers. So these are the really wispy lashes that Lashify is famous for. And then you get this double-sided wand, which is what you use to seal these Gossamers to your natural lashes. And in case you're unfamiliar with how Lashify works, basically instead of putting the lashes on your lash line, you're actually gluing the lashes to the underside of your natural lashes. So in that way, they're supposed to be a lot more comfortable than Falsies. And then you have this wand over here, which you can use both for applying the Gossamers and also for really pushing them with your natural lashes. And then you have this product here called Glass, which you use to seal everything in at the very end. So I just watched Lashify's beginner's tutorial, and I have to say there's a lot of steps, so I'm a little bit intimidated. For context, I am someone who basically never does anything with my lashes normally. If you watch my other videos, I pretty much always go in with eyeliner. So I don't really use mascara, I don't really use falsies on a regular basis. So this is going to be an interesting experience, but if I can pull this off, at least that means probably all of you guys can pull this off. Basically, I picked this up because I recently tried to do falsies in one of my videos. I'll link that down below in case you guys are interested. But it was a very difficult, not so pleasant experience. And so I thought I would look into some other options. And I've been seeing a lot of makeup artists use Lashify recently. And my hope is that it'll be more comfortable than falsies while still giving me that really wispy lash effect. So fingers crossed this all works out. So the first step is prepping the lashes. So I have here their pre-cleanse. This is basically a bottle of Japanese cleansing water. It has a little opening at the top that you can stick a spoolie or a cotton bud into. And actually, I realized I actually ordered their charcoal cotton buds, but it didn't arrive in this order. So I'm hoping that arrives at some point because I was excited to get those as well. But here I just have a normal white cotton Q-tip instead. So let me bring you guys closer so you can really see everything that I'm doing. So for this, I think ideally you would use a clean spoolie and just really run it through your lashes. I don't really have disposable spoolies, so here we are with the cotton bud. But I'm gonna just try to really clean my lashes on both sides. Basically, with the Lashify Gossamers, if you get any oil on them, that's going to basically dissolve the bond. So the goal is to just have very clean, oil-free lashes. And for context, right now, in terms of makeup, I have some brow products and a little bit of concealer on my face, but I don't have anything around my eye area because I want to keep it really oil-free. Online, I have read that some people just use micellar cleansing water instead of buying this pre-cleanse. So it sounds like that might work, though in the Lashify video, they specifically say not to do that, so I don't know. I just bought the pre-cleanse to be extra sure that I'm doing everything I can to make this work out. Also, as you guys can probably tell at this point, I have very, very straight Asian lashes that point slightly downwards. So that's also part of why I was interested in Lashify. Okay, I feel like I've done probably a good enough job of cleaning my lashes. So now let's move to the next step. So next up, this was not in the official video, but in a lot of other videos I've seen people do, they said curling your lashes really makes it much easier to apply the Gossamers. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I have here my Refer Lash Curler, and I'm gonna do my best to curl my lashes. Again, I normally don't do much for lashes, and so I'm not necessarily the best at all of these sorts of lash-related steps. But hopefully I can at least curl them enough to make it easier to apply the Gossamers. Alrighty, so hopefully that's curled enough. Let me just also quickly run the pre-cleanse again through that, just in case there was any oil on my lash curler. Though I did clean the lash curler itself as well with pre-cleanse. So hopefully everything works out. So the next step is to apply this bond, and this is double-ended. One side is black, one side is white. And in the Lashify video I saw they first went in with the black side and coated the entire lids, and then they went in with the white side just along the area where you apply the lashes. So I'm gonna try that. So here is the black side, and it says at the bottom of the bottle which side is which. This is what the spoolie looks like, basically like a really thin mascara wand. And it says that's very important to apply a thin layer, so I'm gonna do my best to do that. Got a little bit on my waterline, but hopefully that's okay. Alrighty, so there we go. Here is the first layer down. And in the video I saw, she had their blow tool, which is this little tool that you can squeeze in order to blow air on the lashes to help them dry faster. I didn't pick that up because I'm not sure yet how well Lashify is going to work for me. So I guess we'll just wait here and see how long it takes for this to dry down. And I'm realizing there was a step that I forgot earlier, which is just practicing using the wand. So basically, you're gonna have to both use the wand to take some of those lashes and put them on to your own lashes. And also at the very end, you're supposed to basically take this and fuse your real lashes with those Gossamers. And so I forgot to try that before putting on these products. So hopefully it goes all right. All right, I feel like the lashes are slightly tacky. I also don't want to wait too long, so I think I'm going to go ahead now and apply some of the clear bond. So I'm going to open this side up. In the instructions that come along with the kit, it says that applying this clear bond is more like a pro tip if you want longer wear. I don't actually want longer wear today, but since they went over this in the instructional video, I figure I might as well try this since it's my first time. So basically, I think this is supposed to go around like a millimeter or so away from your lash line, kind of to provide a guide for where you are going to apply the Gossamers. I will say that first layer of bond seems to have made my lashes pretty crunchy, so they are feeling a little bit different than usual. Alrighty. I'm going to try to avoid putting too much, so I'm just going to let that dry now. And that light is becoming pretty strong, so I'm going to go ahead and close that window. Okay, I think enough time has passed now, so it looks like that white bond is totally clear, which is the sign that it's ready to go. So for this first order, I picked up the Gossamers in C12 and C14. So C stands for curl, and I decided to go with that because my lashes are super straight. So I figured that in order for the Gossamers to be really visible, it would be nice if they had some extra curl to them. And then the 12 and 14s are for folks with slightly more space between their eye and their brow bone, which you guys can see I have quite a bit of space there. If you have more deep set eyes such that you don't have a lot of space between your eye and your brow, it might be better to go with the sizes 8 or 10. So let me first go in with some of these 12s. So you're supposed to just slide the Gossamers out. So let me try to, okay, that was really easy just to pull them out. Let me try to show you guys close up how they look. So this is what the individual Gossamer looks like, basically like individual lashes. And so I think I take just the edges of them using this wand. Let me see if that works. Okay, so I got them just by the edges, and then I'm gonna look downwards and, oh, let me reposition that a little bit. So I'm gonna look downwards and just put them underneath my lashes. Okay, there's one. Let me see. So you're supposed to be able to position them very easily, like taking them off or on as needed. So let me try to grab that. Still getting used to using these tongs. Okay, let me actually use my fingers to remove that. Okay, let's try that again. I do think this is probably the part where experience will make the biggest difference, just in terms of how you really hold these and position them. Let's try on this side. Okay, that is quite intense. I feel like the angling is not the best. I'm realizing if you have pretty sparse lashes like myself, it might be a little bit tricky to get them in place because they do need to, of course, adhere to your existing lashes. Wow, okay, that is pretty long. Maybe I should have gotten some of the shorter ones. I probably should have started with a more natural set of lashes, but it's okay, let's keep plowing ahead. Okay, so that went on a little bit more easily. And because these are so long, I don't really actually want to go in with the 14s because I feel like that will be a little bit too intense for my eyes. So let's try going with that second one. All right, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this a little bit more. My eyes are pretty small, so I feel like actually with just 3, it's probably gonna be enough. So let me finish off my right eye. So I think in theory, you're supposed to overlap these a little bit to make it look a bit more natural. That's a bit ambitious for me right now, so I'm just gonna leave it at those 3 and try to replicate that on the other side. Alrighty, come on. Very, very fluttery. Alrighty. There we go. So yes, these are very, very intense, very curled. I probably should have gotten their amplifies, which is the more natural kind, and maybe should have gone with some of the shorter ones. But I guess this is a very doll-like effect. So after you apply these, you do have some time to adjust them. The idea is that you should be able to move them around until you really fuse them. I'm for now just happy that I managed to get them on, so I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of additional adjustment. So now I'm going to put on these wandums, which is their terminology, not mine. So let's put these wandums on. You just slide them on top of the wand like this. And then this is supposed to make it easier to just do that fusing motion. So let me see if I can do it the way they suggest, which is like this. Okay, I think my eye shape is not well suited for that, so maybe the other way they suggested was kind of turning it the other direction and fusing it in sections. So let's try that. Okay, I think that's gonna work a little bit better for me. Just slowly pinching parts of that together with my natural lashes. Still a little bit tricky to kind of finagle, but I'm sure this is where practice makes perfect. And for those of you who are really good at doing your lashes already, this might be easier for you than it is for me. Let's try to do that on the other side as well. Just pinching it in sections. Try to get it to really adhere to my lashes. Alrighty, so hopefully that bonding action worked. So now the last step is to apply glass, which is to make your lashes waterproof and to ensure longevity. So that's this other wand over here. And I think you can, in theory, omit this step if you don't want longevity, but for the purposes of today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and do all the steps. So let's open this guy up. Oh wow, interesting, huh? So this is like a big mascara wand with a little puff on the top. Very cute. So I guess you wanna kind of focus this on the underside and just go in like that. And I guess this puff makes it easier to really concentrate the product on the underside of the lids. I feel like I can't really easily brush through my lashes at the moment, so this puff thing is quite useful. And definitely, if I look closely, I can see, I don't know if you guys can see, you can see sort of the individual lashes. So it doesn't look the most natural from this angle, but hopefully no one's looking at you from below very carefully. So here we are. I guess that is it in terms of applying these lashes. Let me actually zoom you guys out now so you can see the full effect. So in terms of my first impressions, it was overall pretty easy to do Lashify, even as a complete novice who normally doesn't do anything with her lashes. So on the plus side, even if you're a complete amateur, I think you should be able to get these lashes on pretty well in your first attempt. The other thing I am noticing too is that one reason I picked up Lashify is I really hate how with Falsies you can see a little bit of the false eyelash in your peripheral vision. And I was hoping with Lashify that because these are such light Gossamer lashes, you might not be able to see them, but I do see them slightly in my vision. So just one thing I wanted to note, that if that's one of your motivations for picking up Lashify, it might not really fix that problem. That said, these are way more comfortable than Falsies. I really hate the feeling of glue on my eyes and that weight on top of my eyelashes. Since these are on the underside and because these are really light and they're attached to the lash itself rather than to my skin, they do feel very nice on the lids. Other than the obstruction of my vision, I basically wouldn't be able to tell just based on feel that I have anything on my lashes. So we're at the end of the day now, so it's been around 5 to 6 hours since I put these guys on. So now I want to show you guys my first time taking these lashes off. So I bought this wand, which is their release wand, and it's supposed to make it really easy to just remove these lashes by just sweeping this product over them. So now let's open this up. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So it's kind of like a wand without any bristles. So let me zoom you guys in. So I guess I just put this along the lashes and hopefully this should just make it super easy to remove them. I assume this release is some sort of oil product since the bond is supposed to be able to dissolve in oil. And the reason I bought this, even though it's something that usually is just for folks who are pretty intense about Lashify, is that for me, reusability and ease of putting these on and off is really going to determine whether or not I use Lashify on a regular basis. because I don't really want to have to sleep with these on. Let's see if that, okay. Okay, that came off pretty easily. Very nice. Let me just get a tissue to put these on for now. Let's wiggle this one off too. Okay, wow, all right, great. This release is working pretty well, which is great. So for me, being able to take these on and off on a regular basis is pretty important because I think I'll mostly wear these on days when I'm filming and I'm doing a more involved eyeshadow look, and I want something that is going to help enhance my eyes more than my typical eyeliner. But that means that I'm gonna have a decent amount of eye makeup on alongside these. So I don't want this to be a situation where I can't use an oil-based remover for my eyeshadow. All right, so these last three are a little bit trickier to remove. So let me just add a little bit more of that release product on this. I wonder if you could DIY this by just using some oil and a spoolie. Okay, these last two really want to hold on. All right, there we go. Second to last off. And then last one. All right, so that was actually pretty quick and easy to remove, so that's great. Basically, what I've seen online is you can, in theory, reuse these if you just really clean all the bond off of them very nicely. So taking a look at them now, they're mostly just coated in the oil, and so I'm not seeing any sort of glue stuck to them. But I'm going to basically store them in this little cup over here with some rubbing alcohol to dissolve any of the bond that might be left. So I have here 91% isopropyl alcohol. And let me actually zoom you guys out now. So I'm just gonna put some of this in here. I think ideally if you had a contact lens case, that would be a better container to put these in, but I don't, so I'm just gonna put these into this little cup. And I chose this cup too because it has this little lid on it, so that way the alcohol doesn't just evaporate. So let me just quickly throw all these guys into this alcohol solution, and we'll see. Hopefully in a day or so, they're good to use again. So just gonna cover that up and let them steep. And feeling my lashes right now, I do feel a tiny bit of stickiness on them. I think it's mostly been dissolved by the release solution, but I might wanna go in with some oil-based remover later on when I'm washing my face. So with my first day of Lashify over, let's run through the pros and cons that I noticed about this product. So first off, in terms of the pros, it was really easy to put on. I was actually pretty surprised how quickly I was able to get the lashes on, given that this is my first time and I am not someone who's particularly good at curling my lashes, applying falsies, or anything like that. So overall, the process was pretty easy in my opinion. In addition, I think the effect of the lashes was quite nice. I do regret picking up the 12 and 14C ones. I think I should have either picked up 12, 14 Amplify, which are less curvy, or some of the shorter curl ones, like the 8s or 10s. On my lashes, the 12s were already a bit overwhelming, and so I didn't end up using any of the 14s. That said, I do think that if I had some shorter, more natural versions of the Gossamers, that I would have really liked the effect, because it was nice that they really blended well into my existing lashes, and you couldn't really see the band unless you looked really closely at an angle from underneath. This removal process was also super easy, so kudos to them for that. I think that's really helpful in case you're like me and you don't want to be wearing these at night. On the whole, I think the effect was a lot more natural than falsies, while being not that much more work than putting on falsies. So if you are someone who likes to go with false eyelashes or with eyelash extensions, I do think this is a really great alternative to try out. Moving to the con side, so first off, I will say there is a lot of cost associated with starting Lashify. So I bought all of these products for around $200, which is quite a lot. I mean, I have probably only spent like $50 over my lifetime on falsies, so I'm not really someone who spends a lot on my lashes. That said, $200 is less than getting eyelash extensions, and so if you're contemplating eyelash extensions as an alternative, or if you run through a lot of falsies, this might save you some money. The other con I noticed was that if you have certain parts of your lashes that are really sparse, it is hard for this to give you a full lash effect like what you would be able to get with a pair of falsies. So for me specifically, I noticed that because my inner third doesn't really have many lashes at all, it was hard for me to get a really natural look because there's basically nothing for me to stick the Gossamers to on the inner part of my eyes. And so they just kind of started midway in my eyes, and because they were so big, it just didn't look that natural because there was that sudden start and stop. Of course, if you do have lashes throughout your lash line, that's not going to be a problem for you. But something I did want to note because I had not really thought about that until I tried this out. Overall though, I'm quite pleased with this first experience with Lashify. I'm gonna have to keep playing around with this and give you guys my updated impressions at some point. In particular, what I really wanna do is do a full face of makeup with this. I was actually originally gonna go in with some eyeshadow after putting on the Lashify, but I realized because the lashes were so big and curly, it was pretty hard for me to apply eyeshadow on. So I think the way to do it is definitely first do your eye makeup and then add the Lashify. So I'll try that in a future video because to me, I would not really use these on an everyday basis, but on days when I really want a more dramatic eye look. Also, for me, a lot of how I feel about Lashify is going to depend on how these little guys do in terms of reusability. $20 is a lot for a single pair of lashes, and so I'm hoping that I can use these at least a few times before having to throw them away. So that's it for my initial impressions of Lashify. If you guys have tried Lashify before, I'd love to hear in the comments down below how your experience has been. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching to the end, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!